time, I will reconvene the Muskego School District Board of Education. For the purposes going forward, I would ask the attendance, and the roll call will be the same as our closed session prior to this. And I would, at this time, we will move on to item 1D, Pledge of Allegiance. I would ask all those who are able to please stand, remove your cover, and join Mr. Bowman in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Take this moment. Okay, moving on. Item 1D, approval of the agenda. Motion is in order. So moved. Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Advance consent. Ayes have it. Agenda is approved as is. Item 2 has already been accomplished, our closed session. Moving on to item 4, consent agenda. Motion is in order to approve the consent agenda and rules. So moved.
Second?
Any discussion or item a board member wishes to remove for individual consideration? Hearing none. All those in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The consent agenda is approved. Moving on, item 5A, student report. Mr. Wen.
Okay, so at the high school, SBLA led a successful fundraising event to support the March of Dimes and their work for the health of moms and babies. And they're also hosting a coat, hat, and mitten drive to help support local families in need. Student Council hosted a school-wide food drive where each class competed for the most total collected items, and over 1,400 items were collected and donated to the Muskego Food Pantry. Band hosted their annual holiday concert in the PAC. The girls wrestling team won the black shirt invite by 20 points, and it was their first meet of the season. The boys basketball team beat McGuanago and Menominee Falls last week, and their record right now is 5-0. The boys swim and dive team took second at conference relays, and relay swimmers Ryan Slonak, Eli Wickman, Carter Jewell, and myself set a new school record in the 200 free. Student Council is hosting a new event called Snowtacular this month. Muskego families will have the opportunity to come together and enjoy cookie decorating, winter-themed arts and crafts, and spread holiday spirit. The boys hockey team also kicked off their season with a win at their first meet against Cedarburg. Students will be attending the career fair this week, Thursday, will there have the opportunity to explore different career paths and begin to plan for their futures. And the Tri-M Club also held a fundraiser to help raise money and support the music program at Muskego High School. At Lake Denoon, the Winter Wonderland Dance was held on December 9th. Band performed their annual winter concert on the 1st, and a fundraising event called Battle of the Bills came to an end earlier this month, and Lake Denoon was able to raise around $1,300 for an organization called Camp One Step. LDMS also hosted a school-wide food drive on December 9th, and all items were donated to Helping Hands Food Pantry in Little Lake. The boys basketball team also battled Muskego Lakes today after school. At Muskego Lakes, there were 3 student finalists in the Muskego Lions Peace Poster Contest. The National Junior Honor Society held a coat, hat, scarf, and mitten drive for the Fox 6 Coats for Kids collection. Student Council is continuing a Spirit T-shirt design contest through the end of the week. The band had their winter concert last week, and the choir will have their winter concert this week. And the 6th grade science fair will be held on Friday. At Bay Lane, students will have their concert this week, Wednesday. The Student Empowerment Group is working to spread kindness and positivity by competing in a door decorating contest that showed what kindness meant to each class. And students also had the chance to make ornaments for a holiday fundraiser, which turned out to be a huge success, as over 600 ornaments were sold and over $3,000 was raised for Bay Lane. At Lakeview, they're starting a new holiday giving program so students can thank and recognize the hard work and dedication of the teachers and staff. Lakeview is also partnering with the Veterans Home of Union Grove by hosting a Giving Tree fundraiser, and students will have the opportunity to pick out special ornaments in exchange for small donations towards gifts for these veterans. And kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade had their winter concert last week, and 3rd and 4th graders will have theirs this Friday. And last, at Mill Valley, they'll be hosting their annual sing-along event later this month. Students are currently participating in a 12-day holiday spirit and giving challenge to help collect food items from the Muskego Food Pantry. Students and families were invited to attend the Mill Valley Night Out event at the Milwaukee Admirals game earlier this month. And the school is also hosting a Box Tops fundraiser to help raise money for school supplies and school activities.
Excellent job. Does anyone have any additional comments or questions for Mr. Wyant?
Congratulations on your
Thank you.
record.
Yeah, congratulations on that. Did you recall what your time was?
It was 1:36.9, I think. Or 1:27.9?
It doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, no, I think it was 1:27.
Nice, well, congratulations.
Fast.
Yeah.
Very fast.
Very good. All right. We can give you a round of applause. Thank you. All right, moving on. Item 6, Superintendent's Report. Dr. Thompson.
Well, good evening, everybody. It's nice to see a full house. Thank you to Lake Denoon for hosting us this evening. We appreciate that very much. We have a couple of items under the superintendent's report. The first is just to announce our fast facts for 21-22. So now that we have our state report card in from the state, we're able to finish that up. And this is something that we do every year. We just highlight a number of areas that we want to communicate to our community and to our staff and our students, some of the things that we've been working on and how well we're doing. I think just to highlight a couple, we are now number 5 in the state when we compare ourselves overall in the state report card in comparison to other K-12 school districts. So it's a huge accomplishment. We continue to see a trajectory toward just our vision of being the district of choice. And so part of that is making sure that our students are learning, growing, and succeeding our mission. Another thing to highlight is that we are number 1 in the state for math achievement when we compare ourselves to other K-12 school districts. With regard to our employees, our highly effective personnel, it is our 6th year that last year, that we were provided from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel a top workplace, and so that was something to celebrate this last year. And another thing to highlight is our sound stewardship, 12th year in a row of a decrease in our tax levy. So we know how important it is that we have high quality staff, high quality curriculum so that our students are learning at high levels, and doing that within a budget that is fiscally responsible. So there we go. It's a little bit of a trifecta. All right, so the next item is recognition of our girls tennis and our girls cross country. So we'll start with Emily. Would you come on up, and Mr. Buckmaster and I will meet you in the middle of this half circle here. You're perfect.
All right, Certificate of Appreciation. The Muskego Norway School Board presents this certificate in grateful recognition of Emily Pond for her contribution to Muskego High School girls tennis, earning the runner-up for state singles at the WIAA Team Tennis State Championship. In addition to this accomplishment, Emily Pond earned All-Conference First Team and Classic 8 Player of the Year. The Muskego Norway School Board commends Emily Pond for her perseverance, team spirit, and commitment to excellence in the sport of girls tennis, which has brought honor to herself, her family, Muskego Norway schools, and our community. Signed by the officers of the school board. Congratulations. Do you want to send
Come on
this
up.
slide?
And Allison will
Is that
come
good?
on up.
Okay.
And is there anything you want to share of the journey of Emily's?
Emily started good and she got better and, and it was awesome. Yeah, no, she she went into state being ranked 7th and took 2nd in the state. So she exceeded, expectations and was just, an honor to coach and, an amazing part of the team. So couldn't have asked for a better leader and a better player to be receiving this award tonight.
That's awesome. Well, thank you. All right, we're going to take a picture real quick here.
Congratulations again.
Thank you. We'll look at. Perfect. All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Well, thank you. Coaches and athletes for our girls cross country team. Come on up. These are all the students and this is Oh, well, hi, everybody. Why don't we do it this way to face our audience here, if that's okay? And then we'll move on.
Okay, good. We're going to all go over here.
Yeah, and then when we call you, come on up.
So I'm going to read 1 all the way through, okay, and then I'm just going to hit the specific accomplishments of the others as we go forward, okay? So, Certificate of Appreciation. The Muskego Norway School Board presents this certificate in grateful recognition of Ella Anschutz for her contribution to the girls' cross-country team for a tremendous 2022 season that culminated in the exceptional honor of the team winning the WIAA Girls Cross Country Championship for Muskego High School and individually earning first team All-State along with being the fastest freshman in the state of Wisconsin. The Muskego, we just have to. So the Muskego Norway School Board commends Ella Anschutz for her perseverance, team spirit, and commitment to excellence in the sport of girls cross country that has brought honor to herself, her family, the Muskego Norway schools, and our community. And the Muskego Norway School Board wishes Ella success in her future endeavors at Muskego Norway schools. And we want you to be the fastest sophomore. Right. But congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, a certificate of appreciation for Sarah Martins for her contribution to the girls' cross-country team for a tremendous 2022 season that culminated in the exceptional honor of the team winning WIAA State Girls Cross Country Championship for Muskego High School and individually earning first team All-State. Sarah? Noel Junig? Is that right? Okay. Okay. The Muskego Norway School Board presents this certificate in grateful recognition of Noel Junig for winning the WIAA State Girls Cross Country Championship for Muskego High School and individually earning second team All-State. Congratulations. You can't have mine, that's fine. Okay, certificate of appreciation for Olivia Beatrice for her contribution to the girls' cross-country team for a tremendous 2022 season that culminated in the exceptional honor of the team winning the WIAA State Girls Cross-Country Championship for Muskego High School. Congratulations. Certificate of appreciation for Olivia Serdinsky for her contribution to the girls' cross-country team for a tremendous 2022 season that culminated in the exceptional honor of the team winning the WIAA State Girls Cross-Country Championship for Muskego High School. Congratulations. Okay. All right. Certificate of appreciation for Zori Zembrowski for her contribution to the girls' cross-country team for a tremendous 2022 season that culminated in the exceptional honor of the team winning the WIAA State Girls Cross Country Championship for Muskego High School. Certificate of Appreciation for Lindy Nemec for her contribution to the girls cross country team for a tremendous 2022 season that culminated in the exceptional honor of the team winning the WIAA State Girls Cross Country Championship for Muskego High School.
Lindy is at musical rehearsal.
Awesome.
All right, then we also have a little certificate for each of the coaches.
And for the coaches, Certificate of Appreciation. The Muskego Norway School Board congratulates head coach Katrina Beck for a fabulous 2022-23 Muskego High School girls cross country season that culminated with the team winning the girls cross country Division I state championship. And the Muskego Norway School Board commends head coach Katrina Beck for partnering with her coaching colleagues to build a strong team through guidance, support, and coaching ability that brought the MHS girls cross country team to victory. Congratulations. Certificate of Appreciation. The Muskego Norway School Board congratulates head coach C.J. Mashad for a fabulous 2022-23 Muskego High School girls cross country season that culminated with the team winning the girls cross country Division I state championship. Congratulations. Congratulations. Certificate of Appreciation. The Muskego Norway School Board congratulates assistant coach Jerome Michon for a fabulous 2022-23 Muskego High School girls cross country season that culminated with the team winning girls cross country Division I state championship. Congratulations, Jerome. Certificate of Appreciation. The Muskego Norway School Board congratulates assistant coach Steve Check for a fabulous 2022-23 Muskego High School girls cross country season that culminated with the team winning the girls cross country Division I state championship. Congratulations.
All right, awesome. Let's give everyone a round of applause. Forward, and then we'll kind of get in here and get a picture.
Kind of squeeze together a little bit.
One of you want to come down this way?
You can go.
Oh, okay.
Yo, here's Lindy.
I can.
But here, you're or you should. Just tell me where to stand.
All right, you ready?
Can you see everybody's head?
Okay, yep, all good. Smile. Perfect.
Okay, awesome.
Congratulations.
We're so proud of you girls, and you know, when you win a state championship, I think it's automatically assumed like these are a group of hardworking, highly dedicated athletes. But like what is not known is the type of people that those athletes are all the time. And these girls are a group of outstanding young women, and they're a true representation of what it means to be a warrior. And you are that way while you are in the classroom, while you're on the cross-country field, and also when you're in the community. And we're really proud of you for all of that. Thank you so
Absolutely. Yes. And Emily, you too, obviously.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
I'm not going. One's going back.
they just walked out, but also recognizing, we have 4 teams that actually received the Classic A Conference Sportsmanship Award, and the boys and the boys cross-country team was one of them. We also had the boys and girls volleyball and the girls golf. So 4 of our fall sports teams were awarded by the Classic A for their sportsmanship. So that was just huge and a great celebration. So now we move on to Lake Denoon Middle School. And oh, there you are, Cindy. And Steve, thank you so much for the sportsmanship piece too. Really appreciate it. So we have Chad and John, principals of Lake Denoon, here to provide an update to the board and their annual update to the board.
All right. On behalf of the staff at Lake Denoon, we want to thank you for giving us this opportunity. Just to share where we've been, how last year went, and what we're working on this year. So welcome to Lake Denoon. We're going to share a little bit about how we've done with our achievement in math and reading. Then we'll pivot to student engagement, and then also parent satisfaction. So with achievement, we're really proud to say that our achievement went up in both math and reading last year. We're going to focus first on mathematics. We take 3 times a year, we take a diagnostic assessment that's used for our own internal purposes to learn more about how our students are learning and growing. That's called the iReady assessment at the middle level. And then once a year in the spring, we take the Wisconsin Forward exam, which is our opportunity to, again, see how our students are learning and growing. On both assessments, we saw growth in math. In 5th and 7th grade specifically, saw 8 percentage point growth. 8% of our students were proficient advanced. We increased 8% proficient advanced from the year before to last year in 5th and 7th grade. And we held our ranking in Waukesha County as 3rd in achievement in mathematics. In reading achievement, we saw a bigger jump, which was really exciting to see. In both iReady and Spring Forward, we saw a 6% growth in students that were proficient and advanced from the prior year. Our 5th grade group really rocked it. So we saw a 16% increase in students that were proficient and advanced last year when compared to the 2020-2021 school year. And our ranking in Waukesha County for reading achievement went from 11th to 8th. So our next steps, we're always looking to improve. We're a continuous improvement district, and as a school, we're always looking to improve on behalf of our students and families. When looking at where we were, last year our focus was really aligning our professional learning community practices. So what that looked like last year, we had PLCs at Lake Denoon prior to last year, but last year we put our heads together and we really wanted to align our practices. And one of the big pieces we brought in was a weekly formative assessment, a common formative assessment. So each week, our literacy teachers would deliver a quick formative assessment that was the same amongst all literacy classes per grade. And then they would come back around that and take a look at how did our students do. And then based on how they did, they were able to get a sense of what hit the mark, who needs additional help, who may already know it and may need to be extended. And by doing it on a weekly basis, we were able to be more responsive with our students. So that was something that we really aligned. But out of that came some adjustments coming into this year. So what happened was our teachers really took a fine look at the data. And they, instead of just saying, well, they're not there yet, Chad didn't do great, he needs a little more work. It was, what specifically does Chad need to work on? Where is his understanding firm? And then where does he need additional help? And when you really start to drill down and look at what specific help a student might need, smaller groups start to form. And then the question came up of, okay, within the constructs of a middle school class of 50 minutes or 75 minutes, how do I deliver instruction, but then also have time to meet with these small groups, these skill groups that can provide some targeted support? So with our building leadership team, we had a conversation, and they helped develop what we call our instructional model. And our instructional model lays out how a class period could look. What elements do we want to see in a class period across the building at Lake Denoon? This is outside, it's reading and math, but also science, social studies, tech ed, art. The idea with the instructional model was to design a flexible model, because classes are different on a day-to-day basis based on whatever is going to be taught, but also create a model that would provide the time and space for teachers to meet with those skill groups, those small groups, provide additional targeted support. And then what would our students who weren't in those groups at the time be doing? So that's a big work for us this year. In addition to that, continuing to refine our PLC practices, unpacking standards, looking specifically at what are these standards calling for and what specific skills are embedded. So our teams are doing a great job. They're all in. And you know, on a daily basis, you know, they're looking at what more can we do, what's hitting the mark. They want to know how other teams are doing across the building so they can learn and grow alongside them. And I'm going to pass it off to John.
All right. Okay, so the next piece that we're going to be taking a look at is student engagement. So this first slide here shows, you know, every spring we give our students a student engagement survey, and a number of these items, we're happy to say, we saw an increase from last year to this year. So things such as, my teachers hold me to high expectations, teacher cares about me, learning is important, I'm recognized for good work and behavior, school rules are fair. We're all, you know, we're happy to say that we saw increases in those items this past spring from the previous year. Now, the build off of that, and also, you know, holistically increase engagement outside of those items. Our next steps, we're really looking to this year, we're spending a lot of time and energy with our staff and our team, shoring up and really strengthening Tier 1 of PBIS, positive behavior interventions and supports. So what we've really worked hard this year to get the school year off to a great start is making known consistent expectations school-wide, specific to locations. They are taught to students directly, either by myself, Chad, our school resource officer, you know, took a station. Beginning of the year, we're also going to be doing this mid-year at the end when semester changes in January, just kind of a booster, a refresher. We have the matrix signs all over the building. You can see a library one over there that shows what does safe, respectful, responsible look like here. How does it look in the cafeteria? How does it look in the gym? So we're really, you know, very intentional about, you know, teaching right up front, making it very clear and transparent, you know, the Timberwolf way, if you will. In classrooms, the universal response, when students aren't meeting those expectations, just a standard uniform response from teachers would be, okay, student first gets a reminder. That may or may not work. Next step would be student gets a redirect, which is kind of a more directed reminder, like, you know, this is our expectation. This is what I'm seeing from you. We really need you to, you know, meet this expectation. If that doesn't work, a tab out. TAB is take a break. So a student just takes a break, 10 minutes, gives them some different setting temporarily, a chance to reflect, a chance to maybe put down, you know, why, you know, what they might be struggling with, and a chance to reconnect with the teacher in a positive way to restore, you know, that working relationship in that moment. The next step after that would be a minor, which then, you know, kind of results in a teacher contacting a parent, and then they decide how they're going to address it. If that doesn't work, then it does come to the office with a referral. So it's a very standard, sequential, and the students know, and the students thrive on knowing that structure and being secure of, okay, you know, getting themselves back on track. We want them all to kind of self-regulate and get themselves back on track. Our PBIS team is pretty large here at school, and we've got a number of subcommittees. This year, we've taken it to the next level where we're focusing on student acknowledgement, you know, reinforcing the positives, staff acknowledgement. You know, we want our top quality teachers feeling that this is a culture that, that they can thrive in as well. We know that when teachers feel that, they do better work for students and families. One subgroup is teaching focus and solutions, which is looking at data, trying to problem solve when there are areas we need to improve. And then everything we do is informed by data. We look at behavior data and make adjustments and plans. We have monthly data review and response meetings in order to do that. Now this is the graphic that shows kind of how PBIs should work. The expected breakdown is tier 1, which is what we're talking about. About 80% of students should respond well to everything you have in place in tier 1. Some will not, okay? So tier 2, which would be a more targeted group, would be up, around 15%. And then tier 3, kind of the intensive group, would be about 5%. Well, where are we right now? Looking at our data and our behavior referrals, we find that 98% of our students at this time are responding well to tier 1, which is great, all right? About 1%, and we're defining that, we're quantifying that based on the number of referrals they get, majors or minors. 1%, about 10 students out of 723 have between 3 to 5 referrals right now, and another 1%, these 8, have 6 or more. So our breakdown is very positive, in terms of, what's expected and the way the model is built. Continuous improvement moving forward. The school board and some students just had some dinner. We learned about the PACmates program, which is the second bullet point here. So peer mentoring, building leadership from within in a school community with peers. Our student recognition program, in our parent newsletter, you may have seen pictures of kids holding certificates. Every other week, a grade level teacher, staff nominates students that show those leadership qualities, safe, respectful, and responsible, and they get recognized and celebrated. Students new to LDMS, we have lunch meetings with our student services group to kind of help build connections as well. And then we've added some clubs based on student recommendation. This year we have a new Harry Potter club, board game club is coming up. Last year, if you remember, we added the Dungeons and Dragons club. So just different ways for kids to get engaged outside the classroom. And that leads us to parent satisfaction.
All right. So a lot to celebrate with our parent satisfaction survey last year. These are items that specifically had strong increases. My child's learning is a high priority. My family's treated with respect at this school. I'm proud to say I have a child at this school. Teachers, staff, and administration demonstrate a genuine concern for my child. My child has every opportunity to be successful, and they're recognized for good work. So these are pieces that we're all proud of, and you'll see here that each year over the last 4 years, our metric for parent satisfaction has increased. With that said, an area that we're really pushing into this year as far as parent satisfaction is just how we tell our story on social media. We have so many great students, staff members, great events, and just things happening on a day-to-day basis, and we want to take to social media to highlight all of those pieces. Middle schoolers aren't always the best at coming home and sharing everything that happened throughout the day. You might get 1 or 2 words, fine, good, I don't know, but there are so many awesome things happening in the building. And we want to take the opportunity to shine a light on what's happening for our families. Our students and staff are incredibly proud to be at Lake Denoon on a daily basis. And we want to highlight all of the things happening so our parents can just spread the word and be proud along with us as far as what we do. Since September 1st, our posts have reached 12,800 people. And then engagements, I had to look up engagements. I'm not huge into Facebook outside of what we do here, but engagements are defined as interactions with a post. It could be a share, a comment, a reaction to a post. So while we've had 12,800 people view our posts, those people have engaged with our posts 30,900 times since September 1st. So it's really exciting to see. And you just try to keep getting a sense of what do people like, what do they want to see. And you know, John and I will post things, but our teachers are just really active as well. And the day ends and we might have 5 or 6 emails or texts. Hey, we did this today. Check this out. You know, so just pushing out all the great things happening here at Lake Denoon. So with all of that said, we want to thank you for your time and just indulging us and sharing all the great things that are happening. On behalf of our students and staff, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Does the board have any questions or comments for Lake Denoon?
Chad, what year is this for you now? 3?
2.
2.
Good, 2.
You've done some nice work over 2 years.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can tell that you brought in a mission and some sort of like structure that was probably maybe needed a little bit. So it's nice to see that you took ownership to it and did well.
I've got one. Chad, does the rest of the board have any? Okay, you good? Okay. Chad, so I appreciate the chart where it lists the delta and change. I'm wondering, excellent job. But I'm wondering, is there a top item that allowed that change to occur? If you were to, can you identify one facet that maybe allowed you to have that change? The trend going upward in your achievement scores?
I just would shine a light on our teachers. You know, we talked last August about the PLC practices and can we come around a weekly assessment, small one that we can really use to gauge how our students are doing, and they jumped right in. And they welcomed our teaching and learning coaches, they welcomed John and I to join their meetings. Not as anything other than partners in the work to learn and grow with them. So, you know, they've been great. And and it just continues on and on. We're meeting with teachers now, and here's what we're doing. What more could we do? Are you hearing from other people across the building? So there's just a desire amongst the teachers to do right and do the best they can by their students. So it's.
So the weekly assessments are kind of.
That's it. Yeah, because what it comes down to, it's if a student doesn't know yet, why? And within a standard, there are a lot of little skills and understandings that make up proficiency. So if you can identify, all right, Chad has these pieces here, but these are the next steps for him. Now when you would meet with the student, you don't have to review everything or reteach everything again. Let's just hop into where you're struggling, and let's firm up that gap, and then we can get you moving.
Piggybacking off that, when parents know what their students are struggling with or working on, oftentimes they try and engage at home to try and help, right?
Sure.
One of the things that you have on here is that you've been sending out messages to parents telling them all about the good things that are happening here, which is fantastic, because the kids don't share everything when they go home.
Right.
In that same vein, I guess, how are you encouraging that communication of things the students need to work on so that home can help with those things that they need help with in math or reading?
Sure. I would say, our teachers are really proactive with that. And they have a number of different ways of communicating. Infinite Campus does a nice job of just pushing out information to families, but they will reach out to families and share information, find out, how can I help? Here's what I'm noticing. We also have an opportunity for teachers to request assistance if a student is struggling in an area. It could be academically, it could be socially, and then we can wrap around. But we're not shy about partnering with families. And we always call and position ourselves as partners with them. Here's what they're not doing, what's happening, but more, here's what we're noticing, what else could we help with, or what are you noticing at home? So we do position it as partners. We don't want any surprises for our families when report cards come out. Yeah.
Anything else? Again, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
an update from the Education for Employment area within our system, and Jim Schlick is here to lead that for us. So thank you for contributing. Appreciate it.
Thank you. So we're going to go through our annual update for education employment, the things we're doing with academic career planning, as well as our Connect Academy and what's going on in our middle schools. So academic and career planning, Muskego Lakes Middle School and Lake Denoon has been working on kind of redefining things, and I'm going to let Jim and Pam come up here and talk specifically about that, and Todd's going to join us here as well. So Pam, I'm actually turning the floor over to you first.
Thank you. So I'm Pam Groh, and I'm one of the counselors at Lake Denoon Middle School, currently working with the 7th and 8th grade students. At Lake Denoon, we asked for volunteers to participate in building our ACP program to really bring it to the next level. And we had several individuals at Lake Denoon quickly volunteer their interest in participating in this. We have 4 7th and 8th grade social studies teachers. We have 2 encore teachers, 1 8th grade literacy teacher, a learning strategist, 1 teaching and learning coach, 1 administrator, and both the counselors, myself and Mrs. McQuide. Together, what we're doing is working on the goal of developing the capacity for our teachers to really become ACP advisors. Together, we're working on the goal of developing the capacity of all of our teaching staff to be these advisors, which will position our teachers to find opportunities to integrate the ACP skills into their day-to-day work of their classrooms and their specific courses. This will really give students an authentic opportunity to apply the skills taught through their ACP lessons. We use a program called Zello to help really do some interest inventories and lessons that help really create an interest and exploration for our students here at school. This year, at least for our 6th grade students, in their dollars and cents class, it's a first semester class and a second semester class. In their first semester class, they'll be doing their ACP and Zello work starting in January of '23. For the second semester class, they'll begin doing their lessons in March of 2023. For our 7th and 8th grade students, we completed their lessons in November, so they're through that. So thank you.
Todd, you're up. As Todd's making his way to the front too, is we've been working with the team and holistically the academic career plan at the middle school, and just how do we continue to build those skill sets. And I know Chad and John were talking about some of the behavioral things that come in, and I'm fortunate to work with Mr. Hammond over there, and I hear often from business partners, I need someone just to show up. When we get to the high school level, punctuality and attendance rate in our top 5 for our students that they're going to show up to the job site. So we are just trying to continue the trend of how do we just build good human beings to get them ready for the workforce, and the work the middle school teams and Pam and Jim and Todd are talking about, we are seeing when the kids get in work-based learning experiences as well. So Todd, you're up.
Yep, my name is Todd Subchek, and I am the tech ed teacher here at Lake Denoon, and I'm also an ACP member. And tonight I get to share some information with you about our 8th grade mass manufacturing class that engages kids in a manufacturing simulation and an authentic process of learning. The heart of the course starts with the 16 career clusters and the 6 pathways in manufacturing, ranging from logistics, production, quality, safety, and environmental. As part of the simulation, students identify a market and they design a unique product. Through many iterations, students refine the product, they select raw materials, supplies, and they develop the production process. Key teaching concepts include cycle times for CNC and laser engraving jobs, impact of scrap on the bottom line, the product quality and safety, and the ever timely issues of supply chain issues. Even at the middle level, we experience some supply chain issues along the way in our production simulation. Finally, students sell their products to the Lake Denoon community, and if there's a profit, they get to they choose an organization to donate to. This year, the students sold 55 Hook and Howell games, and they donated $500 to the Christmas Clearing Council of Waukesha County. We have two students. One was unable to come tonight, but we have Ben here. And Ben and I have Connor's notes about what he would like to have said. Get to share a little bit about their experiences in the mass manufacturing class. So you want to go first, or should we have Connor go?
I don't care.
We'll give it up to you. You can give it up. Okay, Ben?
I would first like to introduce myself. My name is Ben, and I am an 8th grader enrolled in the structure and manufacturing class. In the first part of this class, we built the hook and howl game. Some of the fun with this part was, first we had the fun of using a routing machine to get the angled side. Then we used sanders and learned how to stain. Next we lasered, engraved, and we also had to polyurethane the parts. From there we boxed the game and we sold them to the kids and families at Lake Denoon. The profits from this board were donated to an organization of student voted choice. One of many things I learned from the CNCing was that if a bit breaks, it can stop production and will lose you money by the minute. A $9 CNC bit here can be tens of thousands of dollars in the real world. This is why I like to do all of Mr. Sobchuk's classes, because they're all hands-on learning.
Thanks, Ben. And Connor was ill, but these were his words. So he's enrolled in the 8th grade course of Structures of Manufacturing. In this course, students such as myself learn to practice mass manufacturing, a student-chosen product for a student-chosen demographic. And I feel having students involved in every step of the process provides a great opportunity for students and actually gives some level of experience. I've had a lot of social experiences working with others with a variety of machines, and I got to learn how to use a CNC machine. I broke a drill bit once, and that was not a good time. It's coming back. We forgot to turn on the router for the machine, and the drill bit bent and broke off. We practice sanding and staining. Being a leader is important in this class as well as in real life. You'll need to keep track of everyone and make sure that the environment is safe. Overall, it's a very productive class, and it opens up lots of opportunities for the future. Thank you.
Jim's gonna update a little bit on Muskego Lakes.
Yeah, so I'm Jim Brickweg. I'm one of the counselors at Muskego Lakes. Currently, I work with the 7th and 8th graders. Like we were doing with the awards, a lot of it is the same as Lake Denoon, with just a few pieces different at Muskego Lakes. We're working with our staff, particularly in our 8th grade and 7th grade, to partner with them and have them become teammates for us, for me and the other counselor in the ACP process. We're also working to improve our family engagement in these endeavors, and then providing more experiential opportunities for our students out in the community. Again,
Got one coming up on Wednesday, right?
Yep, one coming up on Wednesday. We are all going to the Trades Day at Whitnall High School. So I got to spend this afternoon hunting down permission slips for that. So this year, current state, this week and next week, our 8th graders in their social studies class are going through their Zello lessons on their inventories and assignments. Those include, for them, we are looking at how to put together a cover letter, as well as a resume and the pieces that people look for in those and what make those good practices. In April, the 7th graders will be going through their next round of Zello inventories and lessons, and also starting to explore career clusters and interests, which is what we're kind of building on for our 8th graders. Our 6th grade students are transitioning. This year it still will be in their dollars and cents class, as it is here at Lake Denoon, but we're looking at moving that to the social studies class for the whole grade to kind of get the same experience at the same time and just kind of expand that out. Awesome. So the middle school career exploration event, there's one at Muskego Lakes, one at Lake Denoon. The students are able to pick from 8 of the career clusters. That's a lot of what their Zello lessons focus on, particularly in 8th grade, is what their personal interests are, and then giving them the opportunity with these events to pursue something that's interesting specifically to them. The events are held at each middle school. I think ideally we're trying to get up to 10 local business partners to come in and work with us. I think we have confirmed 3 for each school at this point. Having gotten to do a field trip already, a schools to skills field trip earlier this year with some of our students, these are really powerful things for them. I know all of the students have come back to me and commented on being able to talk to professionals as well as getting to do some sort of activity or just get a free pen from the company helped them really retain a lot of the information about the possible careers and opportunities, specifically in regards to then what they can take at the high school level and the programs they have available to them as they sign up for classes for 9th grade in January.
And again, just to reiterate a little bit, we're going to target 10 speakers, trying to represent the majority of the 16 career clusters. Jim talked a little bit about the Zello inventories. So we use the data from that, and we're targeting the top 10 areas that our students are identifying as a future career interest. So 5 years ago, when we were here, health science targets is one of our highest areas of future interest for our students. And prior to Connect Academy and some of the work we were doing, that was rated as one of our lowest areas for opportunities. So we focused work around that to meet the needs of our stakeholders. And that'll be the same as we go into this middle school with just a quicker, smaller version of what's happening at the high school level to give them a taste and explore some different opportunities to help kind of guide them as they go to 9, 10, 11, 12, and then future employees of Wisconsin. Good job, Jim. So ACP at the high school. So we have our scope and sequence. A lot of the work this summer was dedicated to refining in looking at our practice, what's working, what's not working, where can we improve, just continuing to follow our plan, do, study, act cycles that we do and all the things that we have going on. So we have a lot of great things, and then we start to identify a resume development lesson this summer, and how do we make that to a custom, like a rapid customization, starting to learn about automated tracking systems. So our students that want to go to large organizations that are going to go through some of the hurdles or hoops that they may require them to jump through and preparing their resume there. So we right now we reviewed, identified our needs of areas and made improvement, and we will continue to do that through this entire process as we work through academic career planning. Launched Google Classrooms this year. It was based off of staff feedback. How do we best streamline the content information to our staff to then bring it to our students, because each of them has an advisory period. And so this is one of the bigger tools that our staff had asked for, and our students as well, because the Google platform is what's being used in the classrooms daily. So this is just helping streamline the content that's there with the tools so everyone can access the information. Connect Academy updates. So to date, we've had 7,431 total experiences. In our 18-19 pilot year, we had about 52 total experiences. And then 19-20 in our first launch year, we had about 13. So you can see we continue to grow and offer the experiences for our students. Currently, we have 172 interns, work-based learning students, registered. They've earned just under $500,000 year to date, and that's current numbers of where we're at right now. We average 52 interns or people in a work-based learning with business partners such as Keith over there in the past before Connect Academy and our ACP process. We currently have 623 business partner connections, so not unique businesses, but large organizations. We have 3 or 4, but we have touched base and people are saying that they're willing to work with us. I think one of the next slides, our career fair is coming up on Thursday. We have over 68 presenters coming in, and a lot of it was a lot easier to achieve the number of speakers we needed because of these connections and contacts and people willing to work with us. Digital job board, we now have 6 participating school districts currently working with us. Us, Mugwanago, Elkhorn, Oconomowoc, Kettle Moraine, and now Waterford has joined us. And when we put this presentation, we had 323 active jobs. I think we're up to like 353 active jobs for our students to apply for. One thing to note is I just had a meeting with the Walworth County Business Alliance this morning. And we are kind of leading the forefront on bringing people together for our students and our local business partners. So this is really kind of being a big hit here in the state. Talked about Thursdays are career fairs, so everyone that helped to get somebody to come, or if you are coming, thank you. Going through the last final logistics, but everything's looking good and looking to have some positive feedback for you after Thursday. New for 2023, we're looking at doing a community service day. So how do we give back to our community that continues to give to us? So we're looking to do a day devoted to students giving back to our community, partnering with local businesses and county organizations. We've been working with Muskego Chamber of Commerce and the Education Mentoring Committee and identifying things that we can do as a student population to give back to our community. Each student would have a volunteer opportunity with virtual learning potentially in the afternoon. Looking to target that in spring. Youth apprenticeship grant. So part of our work-based learning experiences, some of those experiences qualify as a youth apprenticeship. So if you are a CNA and working in nursing assistant, it's considered a youth apprenticeship under the Department of Workforce Development. And so with that grant, students under the age of 18 years old are able to do 90% of what 90% of what it takes to be an 18-year-old on the job site. We have 2 youth apprenticeship students that we'll talk to you today. Carter's one of them at Superior Crane. He falls under the manufacturing bubble, and he is one of those students. With the youth apprenticeship grants, schools are awarded $1,100 per student to support the work around career-based, work-based learning. We are currently and have been a part of a consortium with WCTC. In 21-22 school year, we had 99 youth apprenticeships, which could have totaled up to $108,000 towards supporting work-based learning and career-based. With the consortium, we got $600 per student, which equaled about a $36,000 award to MHS, and then 39 registrations after WCTC's deadline, which was at another $450. So last year, to support our work-based learning and our youth apprenticeships, we were awarded around $53,000. WCTC's management amount was around $55,350 to manage that. With that, we are looking to move forward and bring that grant in-house. One of the requirements is you need 25 students to manage it without a consortium. We are now well past that point, so we are looking at exploring the next steps to bringing that grant in-house so that we continue to grow our opportunities for our students and not just the consortium. We are looking to do this in partnership with McGuanago. One of the things we have noticed with working with our business partners is when we identify the return on investment for our business partners and just providing students to them for opportunities, more and more people want to work with us. We have 2 very like-minded districts in the same boat, so we are looking to work together and bring this in-house and share some of the responsibility and costs through the grant that comes with this. So we are looking to do this with McGuanago, and a lot of it will come down to a management system and potential staffing. My last slide. And I think that's my last slide. So I'm gonna have, I think, Anna volunteered to go first, correct? So we have Anna coming up. Anna is in her 2nd year of a career internship through the Connect Academy. She's been with InPro for 2 years. I don't want to steal any of her thunder, but if she misses anything, I'll fill in the blanks. Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, my name is Anna. Mr. Mikulik asked me to come today to talk about my apprenticeship with InPro. I applied last, June, and I got hired as their intern in manufacturing, and I moved through 9 of their manufacturing departments. I did shadowings and side projects for other departments in the corporation, and I ended up being able to make a position in supply chain for this year. So that's where I work today. I work with their supply chain and logistics. I do projects for them, invoices, bills, whatever they need. And I also work with international business doing projects for them. So that's where I'm at. And that was all through Connect Academy.
Women's business experience this summer too?
Oh yeah, I also,
It's awarded a scholarship.
yeah, I got a scholarship to go through the Business World camp. That was, it was sponsored through the Women's Business of, yeah, the Commerce. And I got to spend 5 days at St. Norbert College in Green Bay and learned a lot there, made a lot of connections. And I might come back also this summer. So yeah.
Just want to reiterate, there was no internship at Impro in supply chain until she navigated and negotiated that for herself. So she is doing some amazing work. Anna. Carter's working at Superior Crane of Waukesha, and they have a Superior Crane University training program. Carter is currently a junior, and I don't want to steal any of his thunder, so I'll let him talk as well.
Well, I'm Carter. I am part of the Dual Enrollment Academy as well as Connect Academy, and then did the SCCU training program offered through my company. So I'll start off with Connect Academy. They have definitely opened up a lot of doors and got me a lot of connections with different companies that also allowed me to use an array of different tools that I wouldn't have otherwise been able to use. As well, it's very nice to get credit since I am not there for most of the day, being at WCTC. WCTC is extremely nice, gets you a lot of training, you meet a lot of people, they have all sorts of business meetings, they are willing to give grants and scholarships, especially to younger kids in the manufacturing group, with it being a dying trade. So that's pretty nice to be a part of. And then Superior Crane has just done a whole lot, gone above and beyond for their new kids. They will take on, right now their capacity is about 8 people a year. They will train them over summer working full-time. They get you into fields such as electrical, IT, manufacturing, and fabrication and welding. You also get to see their logistics and work with their sales team and just see how a product comes from just being an idea to getting engineered to then produced and put together. And right now, I'm at about 8 months at Superior Crane and working towards being the next drum manufacturer and specializing in that certain area. But as well as that, I have offers from everywhere for up to $6 more from where I am currently working, just because of how much of a dying trade it is and how much training they have put me through.
They're not dying trade, in-demand trade, like a lot of other industries. So yeah, no, Carter's doing some great work. So Carter. The opportunities both these students have, that youth apprenticeship really opens that door.
I have a question for you too. I'm just curious about this in general. When you did Zello on, because I know you guys had to do that when you were in middle school and in high school, did it put you into those roles that you're in right now, or did you go in a totally different direction?
Do you want to answer?
Mine did kind of end up in that general area, but it wasn't directly on what I'm currently doing. I am currently in that area mainly because of opportunities in it, as well as it was close to what I would prefer doing. But the opportunities are much greater and more accessible for especially people my age. So that's kind of why I ended up where I am, and now I'm starting to like it more than what I originally was planning to do. So.
Yeah, I didn't do a lot of work with Zello, like a little bit, but it did help in dialing down to like a field, like one field, one area. But I think like making connections with people was what really made me like dial down to one thing. Yeah.
I just make all my kids use the Zello thing, and I was floored. A lot of my kids like hands-on stuff, and it was giving them jobs, and I'm like, is that really a job? It was like a rigger, and I'm like, what's a rigger? And the person that puts up the lines at the circuses and stuff, I'm like, oh my gosh. But it was all because of what they like to do, like what they, characteristics of themselves and stuff. And I was just curious with being with the manufacturing and stuff, if that kind of made you pick those topics when you guys went for internships and stuff. So
Yeah, for me, Zello was better at just kind of showing me what I did like, I guess, and kind of showing me like jobs in that area. But from there, it's pretty much all you.
Yeah, right. You guys done well. Do you have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning? Be at work at 6 then?
For me, I have to, when I'm working over summer, it's 10-hour days, start at 5 to 3. This upcoming week, I am off WCTC, but still on high school, so my schedule's a little weird, but I'll be waking up at 5, getting to work at 6, working till 11, then going to high school, and then going back for another 5 to 6 hours.
Impressive.
But hours are completely up to me where I work, and they are extremely flexible. Like with this, I told them a couple days in advance. As long as it's school related, they want you to focus on school, so.
We have one more. So Sam. Sam's coming up. Sam is one of our first students in our in-house CNA program and just completed that with Gateway. So I'm going to let Sam talk to you a little bit about his CNA experience and potentially where his next steps might be.
Yeah, so I'm Samuel Stoiber. So I do a lot of athletics, and this is new to the high school, the CNA program. And so this being at the high school is I took advantage of this opportunity right away. Doing something that I want to do is helping people. So with the nursing assistant, the CNA program, it really helps me get to do my work in school, because my future older friends used to have to leave school and then do that through the college or whatever. But I have the opportunity to do it in school. So that really helps me out because, like I said, I have a lot of athletics going on after school. So that really helps me. And in the class, what we do is we do the labs in the class, like hands-on performances, and then we do the online part outside of school. So that is really helpful to me also, because doing hands-on work to the school is very nice, and I learned a lot. I didn't think I would learn this much, but I know a lot more than I really thought I would know.
So Sam, do you prefer applesauce or pudding? Because from my understanding, that's why I had to buy it, because you had to practice feeding each other. Is that correct?
I'm a pudding guy.
All right. All right. Any questions for Sam or? Okay. Thank you guys for coming. Any other questions for me?
I'm going, Jim.
Yeah.
When did we start this? Was it 60 years ago, 5 years ago?
We were so 1920, if I go back to where he's pulled up, was our first implementation year we were running. And so 1819, we had a pilot kind of going. I was doing some part-time in the classroom and part-time working on getting the Connect Academy up and running. So 1920 was our first official year.
So it's 3 years?
With COVID.
Yeah.
So in 3 years, your program touched 7,000 students and developed 172 internships. Amazing.
Thank you.
Awesome job.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Thank you.
Fantastic. All right, let's see, we have the WASB Joint Convention. Just as a reminder, if you're interested in attending, please let Lori know so she can register you, as well as any of the lunches or pre-convention items as well. And then the final superintendent's report item is a referendum construction timeline update from Jim.
Excited to note we'll actually start doing something more than just visioning and thinking and planning. So we recently received approval through the Muskego Planning Commission, the Racine County, and the town of Norway to construct what we've been planning on constructing all along. All of the design work is complete and bid packages are being released. So everybody here can expect on February 13th and March 13th to review the packages and hopefully be approving. Spring break of 23, so this upcoming spring break we'll be actually breaking ground in various places. We will have a groundbreaking ceremony, so that's still to be determined. But that's when really the hard work starts, where we start to think of the logistics of the project. So one area of note, we will be shutting down the parking lot south of the high school, really south. You can see up on the board there, the green area will be the first area that will receive construction trailers and really be roped off. As summer progresses, we will be working on the parking lot that's south of the stadium between softball, so that will be done in time for the school year. But notably, through spring, it'll be a little bit tight in our parking lots. We'll be using the ESC parking lot for overflow, as well as our soccer stadium parking lot for overflow. And then once the school year starts, we'll have the brand new parking lot, which should help alleviate any traffic congestion. Really, during construction, we're focused on maintaining emergency exits throughout the building, so we're working through that. One thing that's kind of interesting is we are going to be cutting off the auto shop as part of the major STEM construction program, and we will be putting the maintenance shop onto the district office, and for a full year, the auto shop will actually use the maintenance shop that will be attached to the district office. So right now we're making ready our warehouse over at the district office. So it'll be neat having kids on site over there, and it'll actually work out well because they'll have garage bays and a lift in there as well for them to use temporarily. So that'll be the major program that has to get shifted away. Of exciting news, band and choir is expected to be completed for the start of next school year, as well as the north gym renovation, which also includes a dance studio, and that parking lot softball area will be ready too. So the rest of the projects, the big ones, will run the entire school year next year and be ready sometime midsummer to the end of summer. This is all predicated, and we're very thankful for the abridged summer scheduling that we've been talking about over the last couple board meetings, so that the construction team has extra time to get into things next summer. There's some rough sketches and diagrams, very rough, of kind of the staging that we've been talking about. All of it still pretty conceptual, but gives you guys an idea of when things will be ready and turned over.
Thanks, Jeremiah. Any questions for Jeremiah? That concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson. Moving on. Item 7, other reports, president's report. I just want to give a shout out to our music departments. I know a lot of us see these concerts and these, band and choir at the high school. And then lately I saw the middle school, like Denoon and Muskego Lakes. And even if you jump ahead into the spring, when we have our musicals and stuff, there's always those individuals behind the scenes. And these are productions. I mean, people at times ask us if we're hiring actors and their students. And so, but Kyle and Cole, who are back here, just do an amazing job setting up the scenery, setting up the stage, and you mentor students to have them learn as well. And I just want to thank you. I think whenever we can use the PAC, because it's used all the time, so whenever our schools can come in and use it, it's just an utterly awesome job. So thank you for what you and Cole do.
Thank you.
Outside of that, on behalf of the board, have a happy holiday, blessed Christmas, and we'll move on to our clerk's report.
All right, 2 school board positions are up for election in 2023 for 3-year terms. Chris Buckmaster and Robert Bowman. The notice of school board election will be published in the Wednesday, November 16th, 2022 edition of the Waukesha County Now. Interested district residents who are eligible may file a declaration of candidacy and a campaign registration statement at the Educational Services Center, South 87, West 187, 63 Woods Road in Muskego between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4:30 p.m., Monday through Friday, beginning December 1st, 2022. The deadline for filing is 5 p.m. on Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023. A primary election, if necessary, will take place on Tuesday, February 21st, 2023. The spring election will take place Tuesday, April 4th, 2023. If an incumbent is not running for re-election, a written declaration of non-candidacy should be provided at the Educational Services Center no later than 5 p.m. on Friday, December 23rd, 2022. The term of office for candidates elected at the spring election is April 24th, 2023 to April 27th, 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Bowman. Board member reports. Going down the aisle there, Mr. Zimmerman. No. Mrs. Connie.
No.
Mrs. Blair.
I didn't put a season 1 in there yet because we're meeting on the 20th.
I was going to ask.
Yeah, so I'll add that. to the January one, or maybe I can just email everybody.
You can just email, are you gonna have a January update too? Or is this will be a combined one?
This would be just, no, that every month we can.
Okay, so you're gonna.
So, nope, there'll be a January.
All right, you can just throw it in both or email it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Bowman?
No.
Mr. Hyde? Mrs. Boyer? The only report I have is that I did file my declaration of non-candidacy, so I am not a candidate for school board. My 3 terms will be it, so best of luck to all those who are filing their candidacy forms, but there is an open seat on the board. So, and that is the end of the board member reports. Moving on to item 7D, committee reports. Mrs. Boyer.
Educational Services Committee met tonight. We just talked about a new environmental science textbook that the teacher is bringing forward. And we are beginning conversation just to look at and talk about an overview of what our district does that is part of the social emotional learning that we do here at our district. That will be an ongoing discussion.
Thank you, Mrs. Boyer. Now we'll be moving on to item 8, resolution action items. A, 2023-24 budget calendar.
So there's a motion written. Do you want me to just say the motion to approve?
Yes.
Okay, motion to approve the attached 2023 budget calendar, which will guide our budget development process for 2023-24.
Correct. So moved. Second. Any discussion?
Mr. Zimmerman, did you second?
Yeah.
Hearing no discussion, all those in favor state by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Moving on, item 8B, resolution for an exemption to the commencement of the 2023-24 school year.
At the November 14th, 2022 school board meeting, the board approved an exemption to a September 1st start date for the 23-24 school year. Attached is a resolution that must be read by the clerk, signed by the board president, and sent to DPI for review and final approval of an early start to the 23-24 school year. Administration will be sending the signed resolution as well as approved 23-24 calendar to DPI at the conclusion of the meeting. Be it resolved that Muskegon Norway School Board hereby requests that Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction grant the board's request to permit the schools of Muskegon Norway School District to commence on 2023-24 school year prior to September 1st, 2023. Whereas Wisconsin law requires that public schools not commence school year prior to September 1st, unless a request for an earlier start date is made by the board to the Department of Public Instruction, Wisconsin Statute 118.045. Whereas the Department of Public Instruction's regulations require that such requests be made in the form of written resolution adopted by the board and accompanied by supportive findings of the board. Wisconsin Administration Code PI 27.03, Section 4. Now therefore, the board makes the following findings related to its request for an earlier start date for the 2023-24 school year. 1, this request is being made as soon as possible. On April 5th, 2022, the Muskegon Norway School District passed a facilities referendum which includes major additions and renovations to the high school's STEAM facilities, as well as the addition of an indoor turf complex. Furthermore, a gymnasium and other renovations are being made to one of the elementary schools. Number 2, this district wants to minimize any disruptions to student learning and to the start of the 24-25 school year, noting that the starting prior to September 1st, 2023 will allow major construction projects to remain on schedule, planning for any potential labor and/or supply shortages. Starting the year early would allow the district to vacate impacted facilities and begin final construction projects earlier in the summer of 2024. Number 3, the board's request is based on extraordinary circumstances as described in Wisconsin Administration Code PI 27.03, Section 5, subsection C. Specifically, major construction projects that cause the school term to be altered and necessitate an earlier start date for the entire district. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the board finds that extraordinary circumstances exist to permit the district to commence the 2023-24 school year prior to September 1st, 2023, and in furtherance of which it has been determined to appropriate the appropriate start date to be August 24th, 2023, or later in the event that additional orders or restrictions are imposed upon the district that prevent such commencement. Adopted and recorded December 12th, 2022.
Any,
Need a motion yet?
yeah.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
This is based on what we discussed last time, the start date, right?
Correct. Okay, hearing none. All those in favor, state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to item 8D, 2023-24 board calendar.
Do you want to do the C?
I thought I,
No, school calendar.
oh, I'm sorry. Back up. Item 8C, thank you. The 2023-24 school calendar.
Motion to approve the 2023-24 school calendar. You want me to read that, right? Just ask
No,
me.
you just, yeah, all you have to do is read.
Yeah, see, my motions aren't.
Yeah, okay.
I'm seeing them.
Yeah.
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 I don't see them.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure why they're not in mine.
Yeah, it's, so
Are you
it's,
on Daniel's?
It was wherever it took me. I apologize. Maybe it was the,
Yeah, because
okay.
I have.
Here,
yeah, but
I'm
you
gonna scoot over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Motion to approve the revised 2023-24 school calendar. I said that.
There you go.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor state by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Now, moving on to item 8D, 2023-24 board calendar.
Motion to approve the 2023-24 school board calendar as presented.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor state by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, moving on to item 8E, middle school academic guidebooks.
Motion to approve the middle school guidebook as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Who's second?
Hang on here, I just want to make sure I got it. Okay, any discussion?
That was brought through the ESC committee, and we thought everything was good.
Committee's good. Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, thank you much. All those in favor, state by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Okay, moving on to item 8F, athletic equipment purchase.
Motion to approve the purchase of athletic equipment through Dynamic Woodway in the amount of $525,945.84.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Jeremiah's typical not to have the lowest, I mean, usually we always go with the lowest bidder, but that other group did not respond.
Yeah, they were 3 weeks late to turning in. I actually thought they weren't even interested, so we had already started down the path of clarification with Dynamics. So we did have a due date for it, and we left the bid open for at least 2 weeks, and they never said they were going to be late. Also to note, they really specialize in motel weights and not necessarily athletic weights, so we feel like Dynamics are a really good company. They're also a Wisconsin-based company and do a lot of work with high schools. So, and we're saving 10 to 12% by ordering sooner. So that's the only reason we're bringing it forward so soon. We just didn't want to have that upcharge just to wait a couple months and then order it. So
I was surprised to see it was 40 years old.
yeah, come check it out.
Wash
the rust off your hands.
Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor state by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay. Item 8G. Policy revisions to 0100, 2260, 2002, 2416, 2460.03, 2700.01, 3120.04, 4120.04, 3121, 4121, 3210, 3245, 4425, 5113, 5340, 5517.01, 5780, 8146, 8740, and administrative guidelines 3440B, 4440B, and 8330.
Motion to approve policy revisions as presented. So moved.
Second.
Okay, to discussion, we have public request for comment here. So just to be, as we're a learning organization here, right? I'm just going to read some of the rules just because we want to model good behavior, good manner, and good decorum. And we want to practice it for everyone. So I'm going to read a few of the rules, and then I'll call each name one by one. Some of these I may not be able to read, so I may ask you to help me out in that regard. And when I call up your name after I read the rules, you can begin to speak, and you'll be given 3 minutes to speak, okay? When you're speaking to the board or me. It can be no dialogue, no questions. Staff will not answer any questions, nor will the board. It is simply a comment for you to inform us your views. Okay? If you did have questions or comments after, you may email or contact staff or an individual board member as you see fit. Okay? And then lastly, all of these policy revisions here that you see go before, will be on the consent agenda in January for final passage. So our policies require 3 times for us to read them. So we read them last month, we'll read them again this month, and then the final passage will be in January. So just so you're aware, the vote tonight will be to pass whatever we choose to on to the January meeting, okay? So just a few rules here. So the board invites public comment on each agenda item at the time the agenda item is brought before the board for discussion or consideration. All public comment will be completed for the specific agenda item before any board discussion is had. So that means after the public comment is done, the board members may speak, discuss, debate, and ask questions of staff. But there'll be no dialogue between the individuals present here or the board, okay? Each statement made by a participant may be limited to 3 minutes at the discretion of the board president, and we will go 3, okay? And no participant may speak more than once on the same agenda item, okay? And please direct all your statements to me or the board, and not to staff or any other participants in the audience. And if you do have any questions or comments afterwards, you may reach out to any board member or any staff member for clarification, okay? So as I call up your name, please come up to the microphone and just state your name and address, and then we'll begin, okay? And Zilke.
You want us to stand at this time in the microphone?
You're fine. I think you're the voice.
All right. So Ann Zilke, W151S8108 Harvest Court. I'm adding public comment to the proposed changes to policy 8330 and AG 3210. Last month, multiple community members stood before you and asked you to consider how policies like these affect the lives of our trans and non-binary students. Tonight, an incredible underclassman at Muskego High School, who could not be here tonight, has asked me to read a statement for them. So, to be clear, these are their words. They have trusted me to convey them to you. Please listen. I, as a transgender kid in this school, feel that these new policies are unfair to LGBTQ youth. Not all transgender and non-binary people who want to use their names and pronouns are out to their parents yet. And some of them could potentially be in danger if they were to come to their parents about this and would be forced to use the wrong name and or pronouns. According to the Trevor Project, many LGBTQ people do not have access to safe spaces at home. Only 37% of LGBTQ kids say that their home is LGBTQ affirming. This is why the school should be a safe space for those kids who do not have a safe space at home. As LGBTQ people have lower rates of attempting suicide when they have access to these safe spaces. The Trevor Project's research has found that those who consider their school to be safe have lower risks of suicide. Plus, when non-binary and transgender people's pronouns are respected, they once again attempt suicide less. Your policies are not helping LGBTQ youth at this school, as it could have the potential to drive some to suicide. They deserve to have a safe space here when they have nowhere else to go. Bullying is also something that I want to be talked about, considering that me and my friends have been bullied because most of us are LGBTQ. I have been spit on, and all of us have been harassed, and some barked at. All of these things have been done on school grounds. Once we were followed around in public and had things yelled at us. These actions are not okay. In a study from 2019 Youth Behavior Risk Survey, more high school students that identify as LGBTQ have reported being bullied. 32% have been bullied on school grounds, 26.6% have been cyberbullied. This is significantly more than their straight peers. 17.1% have been bullied at school, and 14.1% have been cyberbullied. The same study showed that 13.5% of LGBTQ students said they did not go to school because of safety concerns. I ask you to please reconsider how these new policies may affect your LGBTQ students. Thank you for your time. So those are not my words, these are. By being willing to share this statement tonight, the student has shown us all what it means to live authentically and with courage. And they are genuinely asking for all of your support. So I ask you all to have comment later. What is stopping you from offering it?
Haley Mashad.
the other two people I'm speaking with come up at the same time. We kind of wrote it to say together. Sure. Okay.
So is this going to be a joint thing or?
Yeah.
So
So whenever we.
It's good, it's good, I get it.
Okay. Hello, we are the Muskego High School Tea Club, which stands for True Equality Alliance. Briefly explained, Tea Club is a community club for all students primarily focused on creating a safe space for individuals and making friends. We also occasionally do activism when necessary. We are here to speak about Administrative Guideline 8330. We understand that the changes made to the guideline, staff would be required to use names for students as listed in Infinite Campus unless the student is given written or electronic consent from a guardian. We are aware that this policy affects students' records as a whole, but we are most concerned about needing parental permission for a student to change their name and/or pronouns. It should not come as a shock that school safety is an absolute paramount priority, which not only encompasses the protection of a student's physical well-being, but also their emotional well-being. During adolescent years, students go through many changes and are subject to high stress, peer pressure, and extreme feelings of isolation. Combining these with a potential struggle with a gender identity can be devastating for youth. Although we wish we could say that every student was safe and could be open about their identity at home, this is just not the reality, as many students would be put in danger if this change was to be enacted. Our club put out an anonymous survey, and one of the responses given says, quote, "Personally, this really affected me when I was already in a low mental health state. Hearing the name that makes me feel like me and makes me feel comfortable boosts my mental health. When I got told that my mother needed to approve of it, preferred name, that recognition was torn from me, and it pushed me down further, making it harder to get my mental health up," unquote. Another respondent said, quote, "For a school I thought cared about our well-being and mental health, it is shocking that this is being considered," unquote. If the students of Muskego High School are not in favor of this guideline and are even claiming it to be detrimental to their mental health, then it would be not in the board's best interest to enact these changes. After all, the board's main goal is to focus on the needs of our students. Many transgender youth face discrimination and rejection not only from their peers, but also their family. This leads to higher levels of depression and suicidal ideation. In a population study done in 2019, it was found that transgender individuals are 5 times more likely to consider suicide and 7.6 times more likely to attempt suicide than cisgender individuals. One of the directors of this study, Dr. Ian Coleman, credited this not only to bullying or cyberbullying, but also to, quote, "factors related to feeling supported at home, at school, and in their communities," unquote. With this information, it is clear that the need for a safe space for transgender students is elevated. Some students feel as if school is their only safe space to be their true selves, and enacting this policy would effectively take that feeling of safety away from them and further isolate them. Teenagers who do not feel accepted at school or at home are at much higher risk for suicide. According to a study done by the National Library of Medicine, LGBT young adults who reported higher levels of family rejection at home were 8.4 times more likely to report having attempted suicide and 5.9 times more likely to report high levels of depression in comparison to their peers who felt little to no rejection. The changes to Administrative Guideline 8330 would project these parents' lack of acceptance onto the child's school environment, where the child might have felt previously more accepted. A study done by the Trevor Project found that teens who have just one supportive adult in their lives have over a 40% lower suicide rate. If the proposed policy is put into action, students whose parents don't allow them to go by their preferred name will lose that vital resource. Whether it was a teacher, an administrator, or even a guidance counselor, that student will no longer have that adult to rely on and to look for help.
If this policy is enacted, it'll drastically affect the security of LGBT students, which is in direct juxtaposition to a supposed school priority. It is unreasonable and potentially dangerous to force a transgender student to come out to their parents in order to feel more secure at school. Additionally, if a student's parents are so unaccepting to the extent where coming out would jeopardize their safety, they would be forced to choose between their safety at home and their freedom to be who they are. Either way, their mental well-being is neither protected nor prioritized. Policies like these may contribute to discrimination of transgender individuals and the average 1.8 million LGBTQ youth each year who seriously consider suicide.
We understand that this may be a controversial topic because it is seen as black and white issue. Either the parents are made aware of their child's gender identity, including preferred name or pronouns, or they are not. We propose a different solution. We feel that the students should have a say in whether or not parents are made aware. If a student wants to go by a different name and/or pronouns, the student should have to meet with their guidance counselor to discuss how to balance expressing their identity and preserving their safety. Because each student and situation is different, the next steps should be considered with caution to ensure the student's safety. In most cases, rather than having parents notified via email, students should have the option to set up a meeting with a parent or guardian and another trusted staff member, such as a guidance counselor. Although this would cause extra work for parents and staff members, it would protect students' aid and aid in parents' understanding of their child's needs and self-expressions. Thank you.
Is it Jane Ryan?
Yeah.
With Jane? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And then, okay,
Yeah, got it.
is it,
Yeah. Oh, is it?
oh, you're good with that? Okay.
Hard to read.
All right, well, thank you, girls. Was there anyone else, I know there were people who signed in here, was there anyone else who wanted to speak on this topic? Oh, here we go. Okay, then I will close public comment. Thank you, everyone, for modeling the proper decorum, and those public comments were well done and well behaved, so thank you. Okay, moving on. Motions on the floor. We've had our public comment. This is our second reading of what will ultimately be 3, and the final passage will be at the, whatever form it is, at the January school board meeting. Discussion.
I appreciate that they came with a solution to a problem for their needs. So that was nice to hear, so that we have some options to choose from.
Discussion? So final passage will be in January under consent. There's between now and January. If anyone has any questions, comments, please reach out to staff. Any edits proposed, reach out to staff. And any final edits will be brought forth at the January meeting under consent. Okay. Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor of moving this along to January consent, state by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. So you got a month. Moving on, item 8H, gifts, grants, and bequests.
Motion to approve with thanks the following donations as presented. Muskego High School Robotics, Camtech Incorporated, $5,000. Material Control Solutions, $4,000. PPG Foundation via Blackbird Giving Fund, $500. PPG Foundation via Blackbird Giving Fund, $2,500. Sinacast, $500. MSOE, $500. Essential Industries, $1,000. Marsh Electronics Incorporated, $1,000. Greater Green Bay Community Foundation, Fourth Fund, $1,500. Muskego High School Best Buddies, Muskego Lions Club, $200. Muskego High School Girls Golf, Wisconsin State Golf Association Foundation, $1,000. Muskego High School Girls Volleyball, Muskego Digs Volleyball Booster, $577.50 to support Team Spirit shirts, and $552.07 to support plyo training boxes. Muskego High School girls basketball, anonymous donor via One Warrior Booster, $1,000. For Muskego High School girls swim, anonymous donor via One Warrior Booster, $2,000. There we go, sorry about that. Muskego High School baseball, anonymous donor via One Warrior Booster, $1,030. And Muskego High School Warriors Lunch Program, Tanya Robinette for $250.
So moved.
Second. Discussion.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm just impressed by the robotics. I mean, all the donations we get are generous, but the robotics is really making quite a splash right now. It's really impressive.
It's grown quite a bit for the past 3 years, recall it when it started.
Amazing how
It's really rocketed. So, all right, any other discussion? All those in favor state by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, everyone, again. All right, moving on. Item 9, discussion items. The 2023-24 budget, I take it that's a placeholder, we're good. And item B, here's 66.0301 Youth Apprenticeship Consortium.
So as mentioned in Mr. McLeod's presentation, we obviously have enough students to be able to support applying for the Youth Apprenticeship Grant on our own. Obviously, there were significant costs associated with running that consortium, and so a lot of the funds that we were actually raising were going toward the consortium as opposed to staying in-house. So through work with Mr. Bedlinka and Mr. McLeod, and in partnership with McGuanago, we are going to be applying for the Youth Apprenticeship Grant individually. We will find out, we will likely receive the grant award. To what extent, we don't know at this point, but we'll apply for it in spring. By doing so, though, in creating that consortium, we're required to go through the process of creating an official municipal consortium. And so what we will be bringing forward at the January meeting will be the formal resolution. Both McGuanago School Board and you will have to approve that resolution. And then as part of our agreement, the Muskego Norway District will be the fiscal agent responsible for the consortium and managing the funds. So we will be bringing forward a budget to you for approval. That will be part of our normal budget process. And all of those funds will be held in, will be Fund 99, which we've never had before, so we'll add another one to the budget. And we'll manage those funds for the consortium through the students, and we'll receive funds, obviously, for the students from McGuanago and from Muskego. And then we'll use those funds to develop the budget, which will include staffing to support some of the work that's happening there, as well as some software and other things that will be necessary to run that program for us. So you'll see more of that in January, but wanted to just have a discussion here in case there were any questions before that.
And to be clear, first, thank you, Julie, for being willing to be the fiscal agent. So one of the districts has to do that. She drew the short stick, if you will. So Muskego Norway will be responsible for all of that piece, and we will be the fiscal agent.
So I have a question for this. So in his slide presentation, it said that it was an X amount of dollars for each individuals. So let's say are we submitting so many individuals from Muskego and so many from McGuanago and getting each for each person, or are we asking for a lump sum of money and then we have to divvy it out and it's just down the middle? Like
it's divided out by student, by district. And so we would retain the funds. They would be somewhat separated for each district. However, if we say we're going to support the full cost of a staff member to run this program for us, we would take the funds from the pool first to support that staff, so it's split between both, and then again distribute based on the number of students. So we wouldn't be splitting equally if we had more, and they wouldn't be splitting equally if they had more.
That's what I was wondering. Like if we had 70 students and they had 30, we wouldn't get 50 and 50.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments?
Would we be able to see the agreement before the normal packet is ready on the Thursday before the meeting? I'd like to go through it just a little more carefully.
Before the Thursday?
Yeah,
we
possible.
can send it out early, sure.
Thank you. Just email.
Cool. All right, thank you, Julie. And you don't need anything else on this, right? Guidance or anything, you're good? I think we're good, so. Thank you for agreeing to do that, too.
Who writes the grant? Do you?
Andy, it would most likely be Andy and Mr. McLean, yeah.
Okay, moving on, item 10, information follow-up. You have before you our financials for the October month. Got a personal information memo. And then I have no communications and miscellaneous business as authorized by law. So let me just check one last thing here. Okay, and having no other business before this board, a motion to adjourn is in order.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. This board is adjourned.